I work on something called the East Side Dilemma, which focuses on this phenomenon that communities that face the most disparity tend to physically be on the east sides of towns. And I discovered this interesting observation, which is that if you look at the globe from the North Pole, you would see that it rotates counterclockwise. And if you look at the lateral aspect of that, you would see that the wind blows in the same direction as the rotation of the Earth. And it's actually this wind that accounts for those disparities. The way I explain it is I use a campfire metaphor. So imagine it's freezing cold outside. There are 10 of us. In order to survive till the morning, we got to huddle around this campfire. But we know the smoke is blowing to the east. So the question is, which one of the 10 of us sits with the smoke blowing in our face all night? And the answer to that riddle ends up being people with the least power in the group. And that's basically the logic that accounts for the reason that we've got so many lower income dispossessed communities that are East something or other, East Palo Alto, East LA, East Philly, East Baltimore, East side of New Orleans. It's true in London, it's true in Paris, it's true in Vancouver, it's true in East Jerusalem. I could go on and on and on. But that's the logic of what's happening across the US. It's the logic of what's happening across the globe. I'm compressing many years of work into about 60 seconds to get you where I want to take you. But the main point is that, unlike the wind, much of the disparity that we see in our society is designed by us. When you get that point, you see it everywhere. You see it in our buildings, you see it in our roads. That's the line between East Palo Alto and Menlo Park here in Silicon Valley. You see it in our rail systems. You see it in our financial systems. These are redlining maps. You see the clusters on the east. You see it in decisions and where we site infrastructure that pollutes. You see it in the history of our laws and in our current policies. Collectively, these disparities are the East Side Dilemma that I'm talking about. The good news about dilemmas is they often have really simple, really elegant solutions. So go back to that campfire metaphor that I was talking about. If you just sit in a horseshoe and get closer, no one has the smoke blowing in their face. That's poetic. And so this is the kind of thinking that at our firm Bronze, it led us to wonder if we could generate a system that moved disparity to prosperity by design. And if we could do that and generate a profit while we do it. In order to get there, we started by building 2 test venture capital funds. And we ran those funds based on looking for disparities that we could see and understand, like this one. Today, still right now, in the city of East Palo Alto, about 35 minutes from here, in the entire city, there are only 2 places you can eat with a metal knife and fork. And one of those places is technically this little sliver that's East Palo Alto, but it's on the west side of the freeway, so it's in the Four Seasons Hotel. This is true. The only other place you can eat with a metal knife and fork in the city of East Palo Alto is on the 2nd floor in the IKEA cafeteria. Other than that, it's mostly fast food, taquerias, et cetera. It's a food desert. That's true in East Palo Alto. Specifically, it's true in East Side communities generally, which means that one of the consequences is that type 2 diabetes is off the charts there. Now, diabetes is a condition that collectively we spend well over $400 billion a year on. And in exchange for that investment, the reversal rate is 0.4%. So it's basically zero. You cannot reverse it, which is why we were really excited when we found a company called Virta that has a 60% reversal rate, 60. So it's literally 150 times better than the medical standard of care. Now, here's what's interesting about this company. Because of the epidemiology of diabetes, who has the disease, you literally cannot build that company to be at its maximal scale without having an outsized positive impact on the folks who are most vulnerable. Because of that, we became one of the largest investors in this company when it was just an idea. And it went on, in pretty short order to blow through the, sort of magical billion-dollar unicorn mark. And it's still continuing to grow on its march towards its mission to reverse diabetes in 100 million people. That's the sort of East Side investment that we're interested in. And it's not the only one. We've got a lot of investments in cybersecurity and financial services and workforce. But the point here is that we got a clear answer to our question. Yes, it's possible to profitably move disparity to prosperity. So given that's true, we think that we should do as much more of that as possible. And the way that we think we can do that most efficiently is through a vehicle that we call the East Side Alliance. It's a large human and organizational network. The key to this alliance is that we try to collect as many capabilities as we can, whether we think we can use those capabilities at the moment we discover them or not. We try to collect them all. And then the magic is really about assembling the appropriate subset of capabilities at the right moment for the right problem. That way we can maintain precision and efficiency through this network. So let me give you an example. Literally just like a day ago, we had a scenario where we're trying to form a design team to spur the IRS to take a clear position on a policy situation that is unclear and has no transactional precedent. So to gain this clarity, we need to find someone in our alliance network that is a tax-exempt organization that's willing to invest about $500K, pretty small investment. But here's the thing. All we've got to do is make this transaction, form the tax filing, and what we expect the IRS to do with that tax filing would unlock about $1.5 billion of commercial finance. That's pretty exciting. Historically, we've done this sort of thing manually. It's emails, it's phone calls, it's someone says to me, hey, we want to do this thing, and it's whoever I can remember in my Rolodex. We're now building the kind of multi-agent system that Mustafa was talking about. It runs on NLP and RAG, and if these acronyms don't mean anything to you, don't worry about it. The point of the system that matters is that certain forms of value in this alliance network only exist when they sit next to other members of the network. That's the point. And the system is better at identifying those sorts of combinations than certainly I am. Today, I'm in the way. I'm slowing the progress down. With the right systems in place, everything should happen faster. We can find these combinations like I just talked about, unlocking that kind of capital, driving impact much faster. That's the future that we're heading towards. And the point that I really want to make today is that this is not abstract. It's happening right now. It's happening with the people in this room. We literally built that example that I talked about last night. The guy who built it is sitting right there, and he's very sleepy because he was building it. So I talked to the folks who organized this. They've been incredibly supportive in helping make this point. We will be hosting a session at lunch today. It's the East Side Alliance breakout. And what we're doing is a 24-hour design sprint on this topic with this technology. And what we're going to do following that is take a subset of you who volunteer, and we're going to add you to our design team, and we're going to continue with a 3-week design sprint that will culminate with another physical meeting at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York in mid-November. And there we're going to meet with 20 other design teams doing similar work to put this in motion because it's not abstract, it's real. And so in this moment where we have these kinds of opportunities, I just want to implore us to take this time together at this conference and everything that you hear after this and understand that we are the folks that can get this started now. And so I can't wait to get going with you. Thank you.